What's poppin', man? It's your boy K Trades. We back with another video. Had to catch some crazy bangers today, man. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. We caught out the bear trap 2 days ago. Go back and rewatch the videos if you missed it. If you don't believe it, hey, go back and watch and see for yourself. So yesterday or 2 days ago, we caught this bear trap down the bottom, right? We attempted to break below the 5. We caught the first bounce. That's the first test in a while. So of course there's gonna be some nice support. So we did actually swing calls into that. We got the weird gap down overnight, but we recovered into new highs. Well, really almost exact same highs. So we didn't quite go new all-time highs, but we just matched all-time highs, which is good for us. Either way, we still banked. Caught a nice little 70% on the 7-Elevens. Caught 60% on the 7-12s. Stopped out of the second set, but we ended up smacking 440% and then 170% on some puts. So nonetheless, we still smacked, right? Even caught a little SPX end of the day, little 0.9, so 1.5, and then we caught a 0.5 to just one. So, nothing too crazy, just a little lunch money, a little, dessert money, stuff like that. So cool, man, let's get straight into it. So the game plan, right? We did have our target levels over the top, right? So remember, we still had that all-time high, but this is still overhead resistance. So anything in here, remember, we needed to see the breakout, retest, hold, and then continuation. So once we started to get the fail beneath, we got the breakdown, retest, and they continued in one crazy candle. So didn't catch the initial dump, but I did get the retest underneath the 5. So when we got the second test, I got that as well. So that's where we ended up catching the main one underneath, right there. So we got the breakdown, retest, continuation. So we did catch that. So and this is just a reminder as well. You remember I say you always got to be, you got to move like water when it comes to these markets. You can't have a hard bias, right? You can't just be like, oh, well, I only have a plan for calls, or I only have a plan for puts. You got to have a plan for both sides, right? So even our plan, right? So even the secondary calls that I said, right? Secondary calls didn't work out, right? We only had a small size, so it didn't matter anyway. But didn't work out, got stopped out damn near instantly. It was just literally one red candle, right? But because we're still using, risk management, we already are super green on the day, so we're not using, more than 10% of your profit. So that was cool. Waited, got back in, caught the move, sold the absolute bottom again. Actually sold the bottom. Check timestamps. Yeah, check timestamps. 12:44. Literally absolute bottoms. Didn't get into full calls or anything. Just got some 1DTs. Caught those for a little 60-70%, right? And then we trimmed, and then we got another entry, right? We missed this last entry because I was playing SPX, but still have an entry nonetheless. All right, so easy plan. Let's see what we got going on for tomorrow. Possible game plan. So we got 2 scenarios, right? Gap up, gap down, or I guess 3, or stay flat. So we're gonna do off tops. We're gonna mark our close, right? Previous day's close. This is gonna be our key going into tomorrow. Previous day's close. All right, so we gap over, right? Anything in between 7-Eleven and 708. Anywhere in here, you wait for a reaction at either level, right? So let's say they open it right here. You either wait for a reaction at here, or if they want to come back and test it real quick, because they do that sometimes, like right here. They'll give you one quick wick down, and then one quick wick down, quick little dump, and then they go. So if they want to do that, wait for the gap to close. If it does close, make sure it holds the bounce, and this continue to be our breakout retest, right? If it fails, gets back into this, selling channel underneath that 708.50, then you got to watch for, again, 706. Anything under 705, 706, you got to be careful. Like I said, more downside. We do have support down here at 703 to 702. So that's your downside levels, right? Let's say we gap and go. Let's say we gap up and just continue, right? Don't chase it into this long. Wait for it to break out, retest, right? We tried here, didn't hold, tried here, didn't hold, tried here, didn't hold. So you have to wait for it to hold, continue above the highs, right? And then we'll go into price discovery, 715, 730, just put a little alert at every dollar until we, start to build out something. So you either go that way, or if they trick us, like again today, right? Got to be careful. Break down, retest, right? Waiting for at least 15, 30 minutes, right? Because look at it. It looks a little easier when it's on the 30, right? We caught the first pump. Cool, right? We trimmed the majority of everything. You got the breakdown, retest, 30 minutes can hold, right? Set an alert, and it just flooded, right? So it's been a super, it's a lot easier to see when you're zoomed out on a higher time frame. So make sure you're being careful when it comes to that. So anything in here, right? You go both ways. All right, let's say we gap down. Same rules. We gap down, you wait for reaction either for it to attempt to close this gap first and then possibly roll over, right? If we close the gap and reclaim, use that as support, aim for your upper targets, right? 7-11. Now, if we gap down and we just slice through, you might just have to miss that one, right? Because we don't know how low it can go before it can bounce. Could it bounce right here? Could it bounce right here, right? Could it bounce right here? So you'll just have to be more patient to the downside, watching those levels, right? But if we do start to lose, like I said, 705, that's really your main level. So anything under 705, a hard 30-minute close under that, like I said, be careful. We didn't get it today, right? We got to close at it, but we wicked underneath, right? Same right here. Try to get it closed and just bounce right back up. Try to get it closed, bounce right back up. So right now, we're just in this range, right? Range rotations, right? So cool for us, because if we're going to play calls at the bounce, it puts at the resistance, right? So, just play the range or don't, right? Or just be more patient, or just wait for it to break, retest, or break down. You know what I'm saying? Either or. If you don't want to play in the middle, don't deal in the middle. Right? Perfectly fine, right? But it is a large enough range to where you can catch some intraday, 0 DTs or even 1 DTs if you want to buy time. But keep it simple, keep it smooth, keep it classy, and crazy day, man, crazy, unexpected, right? I think I was running when we caught this whole first move, and I was cooking some steak around this part, but I did catch this right here. So yeah, nice little day, man. Day felt like it went by fast. So yeah, now I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. Time to hop on these parlays, get ready to watch these games, man. Go hoop a little bit, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.